Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So at first सबैजनालाई मैले यो पेन्डेमिकको बेलामा धैर्यताका साथ यो रोगप्रति यो भाइरसप्रति फाइट गर्नको लागि सबैलाई म अनुरोध गर्छु हैन. This is a very crucial phase. Our life has been shut inside our home. सबै कुरा रोकिएको छ, everything, every moment, and लाइफ बोरिङको साथसाथै एकदमै डरलाग्दो पनि भएको छ बिकज द नम्बर अफ डेथ्स एन्ड एभ्रिथिङ द्याट इज ह्यापनिङ अराउन्ड अस इज सो हरिफाइङ है. सो अब त्यो भन्नेमा नपढिकन बस्ने होइन. वी हेभ टु स्टडी, वी हेभ टु डु द थिङ्स. जति पोसिबल हुन्छ घरबाटै गर्न मिल्छ भने त गर्नुपर्छ. सो टुडे आई एम मेकिङ भिडियो अन दिस इम्ब्रालोजी इज भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट इन फर्स्ट एन्ड सेकेन्ड इयर. इम्ब्रालोजी इम्पोर्टेन्ट पनि छ अनि त्यसपछि त्यसको मार्क्स पनि उत्तिकै एउटा स्योर क्वेसन इम्ब्रालोजीबाट हुन्छ कि देयर इज अलवेज वान स्योर क्वेसन इन एभ्री एक्जाम फ्रम इम्ब्रालोजी, लाइक फ्रम द बेसिक or from different topics. There's always one question even in viva and practicals. Embryology is important. So as today I'll be describing everything, that what happens, how is these hormones are released, and what happens after the release of hormones, and what happens if fertilization happens, and what kind of changes happens inside the body, or what kind of change doesn't happens, and everything with the help of a very nice and short and I think easy flow chart. So let's get started. So first of all हामीलाई के याद गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ what is the control center for reproduction है. What is the control center of reproduction? And the control center of reproduction is hypothalamus. Okay, so this hypothalamus is one of the control center for reproduction. So hypothalamus is a small region, okay, it's a small region in the brain which is located at the base of the brain near to the pituitary gland, and although it's very small, but its role is very very crucial in our body. So if you go to the rules of the hypothalamus, what are the rules of hypothalamus, then you get to know that it is a very important one for releasing hormones. It plays an important role for releasing hormones, okay, or for sleep, or daily physiological activities, regulating emotional responses, regulating body temperatures, controlling appetite, and many other things. Okay, so hypothalamus is a major center for reproduction too because it helps in releasing the hormones, okay, that are necessary in our reproductive cycles. So what kind of hormone does it releases is that GnRH. Okay, so the hormone that it releases is the gonadotropin releasing hormone. So it is a hormone which is responsible, okay, this GnRH, okay, this is a releasing hormone responsible for releasing of the okay, I have got the next pen with me. Okay, this now releases the FSH and LH, follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, from the anterior pituitary. Okay, so first of all, hypothalamus, okay, which plays an important role in reproduction, now that goes and releases GnRH. It is a hormone that helps in releasing of the hormone that is FSH and LH, which are very important in the reproduction cycle. So how does it releases this hormone? Is it has an indirect action. This hormone now stimulates, okay, anterior pituitary gland to produce the gonadotropin hormones, means FSH and LH. Okay, so indirectly, so first it acts on pituitary gland, and with the help of anterior pituitary gland it releases the gonadotropin hormone, that is FSH and LH. Okay, so up to here, did you get my point of what I wanted to say? This is okay important, just you to know that, okay, the major hormone, a major thing that is very important in controlling reproduction is hypothalamus in our body. Now with the help of hypothalamus, it releases GnRH, which acts on anterior pituitary gland to release these gonadotropin hormones, which is FSH and LH. Now after the release of these gonadotropin hormones, okay, so you have two things, FSH and LH. Okay, now what happens, Okay, then from FSH and LH, what happens after the release of this hormone is that FSH, okay, in the first half of menstrual cycle, this acts on the first half of menstrual. Sorry for my handwriting, just I'm trying to just make you understand. I just want to give a concept, okay, what is all about this cycle. So acts on the first half of menstrual cycle. So it follicle stimulating hormone. So from the by name also we can know that there is a follicle and it is getting stimulated by the help of this hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, the hormone that helps to stimulate follicle. So what does it mean by stimulating? Means by activating, by making this hormone bigger, by helping this hormone. This hormone helps to mature these follicles. Okay, so we know that in our ovary, okay, there are many follicles. 40,000 follicles are there. And after birth, okay, this is not before but after birth, okay, there are many follicles, okay, but after birth the amount of follicles that remains, or the primary follicle that remains, is 40,000. So in each menstrual cycle there is one follicle that will get matured. Okay, so this follicle is getting changed from primary follicle to secondary follicle to Graafian follicle by the help of this follicle stimulating hormone. So from primary follicle to secondary follicle to Graafian follicle, so the process of changing of this maturing of this follicle is because of this follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, it acts on ovary, it helps in development of the ovarian follicles to Graafian follicles. Okay, so what happens is acts on ovary and changes the ovarian follicle to Graafian follicle. And now this Graafian follicle reads estrogen. Okay, now we know from where this estrogen comes. So this estrogen, why it is necessary to secrete the estrogen? It's only because of the maturing of follicle won't work for the reproductive cycle. We need our other things like endometrium to repair, to proliferate. Okay, so as I said that it works on the first half of the reproductive cycle. So in the first half of the reproductive cycle, or first of the menstrual cycle, there is proliferation of endometrium, there is repairment of the endometrium, and this is all done by the help of this estrogen. FSH will only stimulate the primary follicle to become Graafian follicle, but the estrogen which is released by the Graafian follicle helps in preparing the endometrium, helps in repairing the endometrium. Okay, now the estrogen, which now, okay, what it does is repairs and proliferates endometrium. Now this endometrium, okay, it rises to peak level. Okay, the secretion of estrogen rises to peak level 2 days before ovulation. Okay, so the level of estrogen is rising in our body. Okay, but this level now increases and increases and increases. Okay, before 2 days before ovulation. Okay, that's the level. Okay, and there is a requirement for the rise in estrogen too. So it helps in first of all for repair and proliferation. Okay, now the level of estrogens will rise too. Okay, why the level of estrogen should rise? Because we have this LH, luteinizing hormone, and it also needs to work, and just this lies in the endometrium, or estrogen helps to give signal to LH that okay, now it's your time to work, it's your time to come. Okay, friend, now it's your turn, come and cooperate with me. So before that, to activate that, to see signal to LH, now the level of estrogen rises just 2 days before ovulation. This rise in estrogen causes the LH surge. Okay, So here the LH surge means the rise in the level of LH. Okay, so this rise in estrogen causes the LH surge 2 days before ovulation, which causes the rise in LH, which helps in causing ovulation. Okay, which helps in causing this ovulation. Okay, and this LS surge means to make into to cause rise in the LS level. So just 24 to 32 hours before ovulation, the LH rises to its peak and thus causes the ovulation. So this is the first part of this reproductive cycle, where you get to know about how from hypothalamus the gonadotropin hormones are synthesized and how they act and what is the work of FSH. Now in the next video, in the part 2, I will be talking about ILSers and the process after that. So please watch my video.